The bench by the bakery city was loud, like it always was. Horns honked, heels clicked, and strangers passed each other like ghosts, everyone rushing somewhere. But on that gray morning, Keanu Reeves was not in a rush. He sat alone on a wooden bench outside a small bakery that smelled like warm sugar and cinnamon. His shoulders were slouched. His eyes were tired. He wore a simple black coat, hood pulled up, trying to blend in. He wasn't filming. He wasn't speaking. He was just sitting there, thinking, watching crumbs fall from his fingers to the sidewalk as he fed pigeons to the outside world. He looked like any other man who'd had a rough morning, but inside, he felt something heavier. The night before, he had received news that an old friend had passed away. Not someone famous, not someone the world would talk about. Just a quiet man who once gave Keanu a ride when he had no car. A man who believed in him before the cameras ever turned on. It brought back memories of struggle, of loneliness, of days when the world didn't know his name. As he stared at the pigeons, a little voice interrupted his thoughts. "You seem sad." "Sir." Keanu turned his head slightly, standing beside the bench was a little girl, no older than 6. Her hair was tied in messy ponytails. Her jeans had a small tear in the knee. She held a paper bag in one hand and a bright red balloon in the other. "What did you say?" Keanu asked softly. The girl stepped closer. "I said, you seem sad." Keanu blinked, surprised by her honesty. "Maybe I am," he said. The girl looked at him for a long moment, then sat beside him without asking. She placed her paper bag on her lap and opened it. Inside were 2 chocolate chip cookies. "Here," she said, offering him one. "My mama says chocolate fixes almost anything." Keanu took the cookie slowly, humbled by the simple gesture. "Thank you." The girl grinned. "You're welcome. I saw you feeding the birds. They like you." He chuckled. "Maybe they do." She took a small bite of her cookie, then looked up at him. "My name's Lily." "Hi, Lily. I'm Keanu." She stared at him. "That's a funny name." He laughed again, this time more freely. "I guess it is." For a while, they just sat together, no talking, just chewing and watching the birds. Finally, Lily spoke again. "You know, sometimes grown-ups are sad because they forget what makes them happy." Keanu tilted his head. "And what makes you happy?" "Singing," she said quickly, "and spinning, and balloons." He smiled. "That's a good list." She nodded proudly. "What makes you happy?" He thought for a long moment. "Helping people, and remembering people who helped me." She looked at him quietly. "Then maybe you should do one of those things today." Keanu's heart stung a little. The simplicity of her words hit deeper than any speech. Then Lily stood up. "I gotta go. My mama's waiting." She handed him the red balloon. "You need this more than me today," she said. Before he could respond, she ran down the sidewalk, skipping as if sadness had never existed. Keanu stared at the balloon. It danced in the breeze, bright against the gray sky. He held it carefully, like it was something sacred. He looked down at the bench, where she had left her napkin with a drawing on it. To stick figures holding hands under a red balloon, smiling. It was signed, "From Lily to the sad man." Keanu didn't know why, but his eyes filled with tears. He folded the napkin and placed it in his coat pocket. He stood up, holding the balloon, and started walking, not fast, not slow, just steady, like he had found a thread to follow. He didn't know where Lily lived. He didn't know her last name, but he knew something strange had just happened, something that wasn't finished yet. Finding Lily again. KeanuReeves walked through the city that afternoon with the red balloon gently floating above his head. It was tied to his wrist now, and though it looked out of place, a grown man in dark clothes carrying a balloon, meant for a birthday party, he didn't care. Every time it bobbed in the wind, he remembered her voice. "You seem sad, sir." It had been so long since someone noticed him that way, not as a star, not as a headline, but as a person, a man sitting quietly with his thoughts. And somehow, this little girl named Lily had seen him more clearly than people who had known him for years. He still had the napkin in his coat pocket. "From Lily to the sad man." He smiled every time he touched it. Keanu walked block after block, scanning faces, watching children run with parents, checking each bakery, park bench, and bus stop near where they had met. He didn't know what he was searching for exactly, just a feeling. Something unfinished. At a street corner, he spotted a balloon vendor. He approached. "Have you seen a little girl with 2 ponytails and a red balloon earlier today?" The vendor nodded slowly. "I think so. She came with her mom. Sweet kid. Bought the balloon with quarters and a crumpled dollar bill. Do you know where she went?" The vendor pointed. "That way, toward the schoolyard. Her mom works near there, I think." Keanu thanked him and followed the direction. He passed an old community center, a row of food stalls, and finally stopped at a small school playground. Children laughed and played, climbing metal bars and racing through slides. He didn't see Lily. He almost turned back, but then he noticed a woman standing near the fence, holding a lunch container and watching the kids carefully. She wore a hospital badge and looked tired, but kind. Keanu walked up. "Excuse me, are you Lily's mom?" The woman turned, startled. "Who's asking?" He smiled gently. "My name's Keanu. Your daughter gave me a balloon today, and a cookie, and maybe more than that." The woman's face softened. "Oh. She told me she gave her snack to a sad man." Keanu laughed. "That's me." She smiled. "I'm Sarah. I work nights at the hospital. She waits for me at the bakery sometimes, until I finish my morning shift. She's a remarkable little girl," he said. "You've raised her well." Sarah looked down. "I try. It's been hard." Keanu didn't press, but she continued anyway. "Her dad left 2 years ago. We were living in a shelter for a while. Now we rent one room above the laundromat. I do double shifts, sometimes even triple. But Lily, she's my sunshine." Keanu nodded slowly. "She gave me something that reminded me why I keep going. And now, I want to help." Sarah straightened. "We don't take charity." "This isn't charity," Keanu said. "It's thanks." Just then, Lily came running toward the fence. "Mama? Mama, that's the man. The balloon man." She waved at Keanu with both hands. Her eyes were bright like before, full of joy. Keanu crouched down. "Hi, Lily." She grinned. "Did the balloon work?" He nodded. "More than you know." Lily's mom looked at them both, something changing in her expression. Keanu reached into his coat and pulled out the napkin drawing. "I kept this," he said. "And I want to ask something." "What?" Lily asked. "Will you come with me to a place tomorrow, somewhere fun?" Sarah looked unsure. "What kind of place?" Keanu smiled. "A film set, just for an hour. I'd love for Lily to meet my team. Maybe even act in a short scene." Lily gasped. "Like, in a movie?" "A small one," Keanu said. "But real." Sarah hesitated. "I don't know. You'll both be there." He assured her. "I promise it's safe, and maybe it opens a door." After a long moment, Sarah nodded. Lily jumped in the air. "Yay!" Keanu smiled. The balloon danced again in the air. The next day would be different, but he had no idea just how much this little girl's presence would shift everything around him, and how one act of kindness, one sentence, would reach far beyond what anyone could imagine. The girl on set next morning. The sky was clear and golden. Sunlight streamed across the studio lot as camera crews set up lights, cables, and props. It was supposed to be a simple shoot, a promo for a charity video Keanu had agreed to film. Something about kindness, short but meaningful. But he had asked the director for one change. "There's a girl," Keanu said. "I want her in it." The director looked confused. "An actress?" Keanu shook his head. "Not exactly. Just trust me." At 10 o'clock sharp, a small car pulled up near the gates. Lily jumped out first, her ponytails bouncing. She wore a second-hand dress that was a little too big and mismatched socks, but her smile lit up the parking lot. Sarah stepped out behind her, looking nervous but proud. Her hospital badge was still clipped to her coat, as if she came straight from work. Keanu walked up to them with a smile. "You made it." Lily held out her arms and ran to him. "We're going to be in a movie." Keanu knelt to her level. "You're going to be the star today." The crew watched with curiosity as he guided them onto the set. The scene was simple: a quiet park bench, some pigeons, and a man looking lost in thought. It was meant to show how a small act of kindness could change everything. Just like the Real moment that had inspired it. Keanu told Lily she didn't have to follow a script. Just do what you did the first time, he said. Just be you. The cameras rolled. Keanu sat on the bench, his face sad and silent. Lily walked up. You seem sad, sir. The whole set froze. The microphone picked up every soft word, every emotion in her voice. Then she sat beside him, handed him a cookie, smiled. The crew watched in silence, their eyes misting. The director whispered, "That wasn't acting. It wasn't," Keanu said softly. After the scene ended, the entire team applauded. Some even stood. Lily beamed, waving both hands. "Did I do it?" Keanu laughed. "You did more than that." Sarah stood off to the side, covering her mouth. She had never seen her daughter shine like that, so free, so fearless. After the shoot, the producer came up. "Who is she?" he asked. "Her name's Lily," Keanu replied. "And she saved my day." The producer nodded slowly. "I want to talk to her mom." Sarah blinked in surprise when they approached her. "We're working on a short series about real acts of kindness," the producer explained. "We need stories, true ones. Would you be willing to share yours?" Sarah hesitated. "We're not actors." "Exactly," he smiled. "That's what makes it real." Keanu stepped in. "There's no pressure, just your story, the one that already touched my life." Sarah looked at Lily, who was now spinning in circles near the snack table. Finally, she nodded. They signed a release that day. Nothing big, just permission to use the footage and record their story later that week. But something bigger happened that afternoon. While Lily napped in the dressing room and Sarah spoke with the producers, Keanu stepped outside to make a call. His voice was steady. "I want to set up a fund." The assistant on the line asked, "For what cause?" "For working mothers," he said, "especially the ones raising kids alone. And for girls like Lily." The assistant paused. "Under your name." Keanu looked back at the red balloon tied to a chair near the makeup trailer. "No," he said. "Call it the Lily Fund." 2 weeks later, the video was posted online. Title: A girl gave Keanu Reeves a cookie. What happened next will warm your heart. Millions watched, not because it was glossy or famous, but because it was real. People cried at Lily's honesty, at the simple way she had noticed someone others ignored. Messages flooded in, donations came, job offers were sent to Sarah. An anonymous donor paid their rent for a year. And Lily? She didn't change much. She still sang while brushing her teeth, still danced in public, still gave away her cookies. But her world got wider. Still, the story was far from over. Because one night, Keanu got a letter, a handwritten one, from someone he hadn't heard from in years, someone who had once broken his heart, and the letter had Lily's name in it. Asterisk, the letter from the past. It was late when the letter arrived. Keanu had just returned home from a long day on set. He dropped his keys on the kitchen counter, poured himself a glass of water, and was about to sit when he noticed a small envelope sticking out from under the door. No return address. His name was written on the front in a familiar hand, slanted, careful, with tiny hearts in the loops of the letters. His breath caught. He hadn't seen that handwriting in almost 20 years. He sat down slowly, carefully tore the envelope open, and unfolded the note. "Dear Keanu, I saw the video, the one with the little girl and the cookie. It was beautiful. And I cried, not just because of what she did, but because of what I didn't do all those years ago. I never told you this, but before I left, I was pregnant. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I made mistakes. I didn't keep her. I left her at the hospital. They said she was placed in emergency care. I thought about her every day, every birthday, every time I saw a child laugh. And then I saw that video, and when she looked up at you and said, 'You seem sad, sir,' I knew, that's her. That's my daughter. Her name is Lily now. I know you probably don't believe me. I wouldn't blame you. But I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know I'm still out here. I love her. I've always loved her. I've never asked for forgiveness, but watching you care for her, maybe she finally got what I couldn't give. Thank you." Keanu stared at the letter for a long time. Then he read it again. The pages trembled in his hands. This was impossible, wasn't it? But deep down, something made sense. Her face, her words, her way of looking at the world. Lily had always felt like something more than a passing moment. Now he understood why. He took out the napkin drawing again, the one Lily gave him the first day, to stick figures under a red balloon. The handwriting was almost the same, slanted, careful, with little hearts. He called Sarah the next morning. "We need to talk," he said. She met him at the cafe near the studio. He handed her the letter, watched as her hands tightened around the paper. Sarah read it twice, then looked up. "I always knew Lily wasn't mine by birth," she said softly. "I adopted her when she was just a baby, left at the hospital where I worked. She never had any documents. I raised her like my own. I never thought she'd find her real mother." Keanu paused. "What would you want to happen?" Sarah wiped her eyes. "I want what Lily wants, but she's only 6. How do you explain something like this to her?" "With honesty," Keanu said, "and love." They sat in silence for a while. Then Sarah said, "Do you think we should meet her?" Keanu nodded. "But not alone." 2 days later they arranged it quietly. No cameras, no headlines, just a small park, one picnic table, and a gentle breeze. The woman arrived early. She wore a plain blue dress and held a yellow flower. Her hands were shaking. Her face looked both young and tired, the kind of face that had cried more than it had smiled. When she saw Lily walking toward her, she covered her mouth. Lily ran straight to the playground without noticing her. "Keanu, Sarah." And the woman sat nearby. "Thank you," the woman said, looking at Sarah, "for raising her, for loving her." Sarah nodded. "She's everything to me." Keanu looked at the woman. "Why now?" "Because I couldn't stay quiet anymore. I saw that video, and it was like the world gave me one more chance." Keanu watched Lily play, laughing on the swing, her ponytails flying behind her. "She's happy," he said. "I don't want to take her," the woman whispered. "I swear. I just want her to know. If someday she wants to ask, I'll be here." Sarah looked over, her eyes full. Maybe we tell her she has a friend, someone who watched her grow from afar." The woman cried. Silent tears. Nodding. When Lily came back with a flower in her hand, she gave it to Keanu. "This one's for you," she said, "because you looked happy today." Then she turned to the woman. "Hi. Are you Keanu's friend?" The woman smiled, barely holding it together. Yes, I am." Lily beamed. "You want a cookie? I brought extra." And just like that, a door opened. Not with words, but with a cookie. And kindness. The choicest wind rustled through the leaves, and the light on the park bench shifted as clouds moved across the sky. For a moment, everything felt still, like time itself had paused to listen to what was happening. Keanu Reeves sat beside Sarah, watching Lily speak to the woman she now believed was a new friend. The woman, Maria, smiled through tears, her hands shaking as she accepted the cookie Lily offered her. "Thank you," Maria said gently. "I haven't had one of these in years." Lily grinned. "They're from the same bakery where I met Keanu. It's magic there. People find smiles again." Keanu smiled softly, but he could see the pain in Maria's eyes. She wasn't just trying to smile, she was holding back 1,000 things. Questions, guilt, memories. But she didn't say a word that would scare Lily. She followed Keanu and Sarah's wish. No heavy truths yet. Not until Lily was ready. The visit ended quietly. Lily hugged Maria like she was an old aunt, and Maria whispered, "Thank you for letting me sit with you." As she walked away, Keanu saw her wipe her face. She didn't turn around once. That night, Sarah and Keanu sat across from each other in the apartment. Lily had fallen asleep on the couch, holding her balloon from the set, still tied to her wrist. "Do we tell her?" Sarah asked. Keanu looked at Lily, peaceful in sleep. "Maybe someday, but not now. Not with the world watching." "You think Maria's serious about not interfering?" "I do," Keanu said. "I think she knows she missed her moment, but I also think she just wants to be near enough in case Lily ever reaches out." Sarah nodded slowly. "And you? Why did this hit you so hard?" Keanu looked away. "Because for a long time, I thought I had no more family left. But now I feel like I've been given something back. Not blood, not old memories, But something that matters more. Like what? He turned to Sarah. Like a reason. Sarah smiled. I used to pray someone would see Lily the way I see her. And then you showed up with a balloon and a cookie. They both laughed quietly. But deep inside, they knew everything had changed. The next day, Keanu made a decision. He walked into a meeting with his team and said, I want to create something. A program, not just a fund. Something bigger, something lasting. They leaned in. I want to build a foundation named after Lily, he said. It'll help single mothers, foster kids, children who were left behind, kids who think no one sees them. One assistant raised her hand. Do you want us to run it through the KeanuReeves brand? He shook his head. No, Lily's name, her story, no cameras, no press, just change. Within 2 weeks, the Lily's Light Foundation was born. Keanu didn't talk about it in interviews. He didn't promote it on stage. He just built it quietly. The first project was setting up scholarships for girls from shelters. The second, a partnership with bakeries to offer part-time jobs to struggling mothers. Sarah was the first board member. Maria, quietly, was the second. Months passed. Lily grew fast. She kept drawing, kept dancing, kept offering cookies to strangers. People who once ignored her now followed her story. They sent letters, handmade cards, little gifts. One day, she asked Keanu, why do people send me things now? He smiled. Because you gave them something first. Lily tilted her head. But I didn't give them much. You gave them a reason to believe again, he said. One spring morning, Keanu sat on the same bakery bench where he had first met her. The same birds pecked at the sidewalk. And the same voice said, you seem quiet today, sir. He looked up. Lily stood there, taller now, with 2 cookies in her hand. You still sad? She asked. Keanu shook his head. No, not sad. She handed him the cookie anyway. Just in case, she said. He took it, then said, Lily, do you know how many people you've helped? She shrugged. Not really. Hundreds, maybe thousands. But I only gave out cookies, she said. He smiled. And that changed everything. She sat beside him and leaned her head on his arm. Do you ever miss your family? She asked suddenly. He looked up at the sky. Sometimes. Well, she whispered. You can be in mine forever, if you want. His throat tightened. I'd like that, he said. They sat together, just like the first day. A little girl, a man with too much silence in his heart. And the tiniest balloon string still tied around her wrist. But this wasn't the end. Because someone else had been watching. Someone with a secret. And what they were about to reveal would make everything even more unbelievable. The hidden photo. Spring turned into summer. The city got louder, the skies stayed brighter, and Lily's laugh echoed in more places than ever before. Her name, once just whispered in a small park and bakery, had now become part of something bigger, something that helped children, mothers, and strangers believe in goodness again. But even with all that had grown around her, Lily still spent her mornings in the same way, walking with Sarah to the bakery, waving at the balloon vendor, and visiting the bench where she'd first met Keanu Reeves. Some mornings he was already there, holding a cookie for her. Some mornings she surprised him. One day, a woman arrived at the bakery with a small brown envelope in her hand. She had soft gray hair tied in a bun and glasses that slid down her nose. She looked around, then spotted Keanu sitting at the bench. Her steps were slow, like someone who wasn't sure if she should be there. Reeves, she asked carefully. Keanu stood. Yes, she looked nervous. My name's Evelyn. I used to work in records at the hospital, the one where Lily was left years ago. Keanu's face shifted, gentle, cautious. Yes, Evelyn held out the envelope. I've kept this for years. I wasn't supposed to, but something in me said, hold on to it. Someone will come. I think it belongs to her. Keanu opened the envelope slowly. Inside was an old photo, faded at the edges, slightly wrinkled. It showed a baby wrapped in a yellow blanket, in the arms of a young woman. The woman's face wasn't clear, turned slightly to the side, but the baby's face was unmistakable. Lily. This was taken at the hospital. I think it might be Lily's birth mother. She left before anyone could talk to her. The photo was left behind in a clipboard drawer. Keanu stared at it, and then he noticed something else. The blanket in the photo had a stitched name on it. Lily. He looked up. So she wasn't named by the nurses. Evelyn shook her head. No. She had that name when she arrived. KeanuReeves. Heart swelled. That meant Maria, her birth mother, had named her, even through her fear. Even when she ran, she gave her daughter a name, one that matched her perfectly. A name full of softness, light, and beginnings. Thank you, Keanu said. Quietly. Thank you for keeping this. I didn't know who to give it to, Evelyn replied. But when I saw the story online, and the balloon, and the cookies, I knew it was time. That night, Keanu sat with Sarah and Lily at the kitchen table. He placed the photo in front of them. Sarah covered her mouth. Oh my! Lily picked it up gently. That's me. Keanu nodded. Yes. And the woman holding you, that's your first mom. Lily stared at it for a long time. She looks like me, she whispered. Sarah placed her hand over Lily's. She named you Lily. Tears filled the little girl's eyes. So she didn't forget me. Keanu knelt beside her. No, she remembered. Always. Is she still around? Lily asked softly. Sarah and Keanu looked at each other. Then Sarah said, yes, and she loves you. She's always loved you. Can I meet her again? Keanu smiled. We'd like that, if you'd like. That too. The next weekend, Maria joined them in the park. This time, Lily knew exactly who she was. She walked up, held the photo, and said, thank you for naming me. Maria knelt down, her voice trembling. I wanted to name you something beautiful. Something that grows in the sun, even after rain. I like it, Lily said. They sat together on the bench. The red balloon tied between them. No secrets now. Just truth. And love. Months later, the story spread again, not because of Keanu, not because of fame, but because people saw a girl with a red balloon, giving cookies to strangers and changing lives with a single sentence. You seem sad. Sir, what the little girl did next didn't just stun Keanu Reeves. It stunned the world and reminded everyone that sometimes healing begins with one person seeing your pain and offering a cookie, a name, and a reason to smile again.